This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys. Heard every Saturday from 11 to noon at Bumper to Bumper Radio. We're helping you, the motoring public, have a better overall car experience. If you've got car questions, we've got car answers. So we encourage you to give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. And if you're the shy type, you can text us at 411-923. But, I always prefer a phone call. You can get so much more done.
Right?
So anyway, how not to get hoodwinked like Mike Russell. Mike Russell bought a used F-150, and there was a couple of weeks where he was calling us. He's like, hey, can you come check this car out with me? Hey, can you come check that car out with me? So both you and I are running out, Matt, to go look at cars that he's looking to buy, and he really wanted a four-door pickup truck. He really wanted a Toyota, but, price, they weren't fitting what he was looking for. So he shows up to my shop with an F-150.
With a deal.
And he's like, hey, it was like $3,000 less than what I had budgeted. He was so excited about it. He's like, let's go take it for a drive. So we take it for a drive, and I'm not even out of the parking lot, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this thing runs weird. And we're driving down the road, and you hit the brakes, and it shatter your teeth out. He's like, you can fix that, right? I was like, yeah, I can fix that. So
My dad's got a set of tools, right?
It was like we start looking into this weird rough idle with no check engine light, which was totally strange. And this thing was like a hornet's nest of issues without a stinking check engine light. The computer wouldn't tell us anything. So my guy finally, he finds the wrong fuel injectors on one side of the engine. We fix that, and, then still no check engine light. It runs better, but it's still not fixed. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the story. We'll do that in a different show.
Oh, okay. I thought that's where we're going. I was just going to sit down and let you have at it for a while here.
But we started to find a cover-up in that car that was going on. So the topic of used cars, people want to buy a used car, and we see them buy a used car. And a lot of the cars that we work on Tri-City Transmission are cars that people just bought. They're like, oh, I got this great used car, and now I'm facing a $2,500, $3,500 repair bill. And so how do you not – used cars a lot of times can make sense.
Well, but why is that, Dave? Why is it that the cars that you look at a lot of times are cars people just got? And I'll answer the question because I know it. It's because many, many people have been at other transmission shops or even at your shop, and they were told you need a transmission. So guess what? They say, I'm selling the car. So the new buyer – who doesn't test drive the car long enough to experience the symptom of the transmission problem, just buys it. Then after that first nice drive they take in it, then they realize they have a transmission problem. So that's
well, the people that say no to fixing these cars, they say, no, I'll just trade it off, right? So they take it to the dealer, and most times they're trading these cars in. They don't say, hey, it's got this transmission problem in the background. You guys probably won't notice it, but it's there. I should really let you know about it.
Yeah, I haven't done any maintenance.
Their justification is they get their people. They check it out. It's not my problem. So they trade it in, and then at the car lot, those people don't necessarily find the problem because it's one of those things where you got to drive it 20, 30 minutes before it shows up. So then they sell it. And I always make the insinuation. I go, they'll probably just sell it to some single mother, And just to put a little bit of reality into what they're saying, because somebody eventually is going to get that car, and they're not going to put a sticker on the window that says it needs transmission pretty soon.
Well, and that's just at the car lot you're talking about. But what about the guy? Hey, I'll just meet you at the Circle K. Does he just not want you to know where he lives because he knows he's selling something that he shouldn't be selling?
There's Craigslist killer. You don't want everybody and their brother showing up to your house, so I kind of get that.
I agree.
So it's kind of a complex deal. But a used car, any safer just buying it at a car lot? Is that how you protect yourself?
Safer as in safety or the making a good purchase?
All around.
All around. Well, I don't know. So when we always talk about you got to get the car checked out, and we're hearing stories that some people won't even let you take the car to get checked out. And on one hand, I can understand why they don't want you to take the car, and on the other hand, I think you might be hiding a problem. But it really gets down to the price of the car. You take these cars less than $5,000, less than $4,000, man, they're moving. They're like hotcakes. They're not selling. Yeah. So if I've got one of those, you want to go get it checked out at the mechanic? No, I'm not wasting my time because the next guy's going to buy it.
Right.
That's a commodity item. That car's selling no matter what.
That's a $2,500 to $5,000 car.
Yeah, but now you get in, let's take it up a notch. You're 10, 15, 20. You got to get that car checked out.
Definitely do. That car they're slower moving. It's not like somebody's going to necessarily jump on it. Let's take Mike Russell's situation. He bought a $10,000 truck for $7,000. But that was one where, and I think when do you get it checked out? If you are in that price range, I would, already pull the Carfax, get a Carfax on it, some other things. And if you think you want to marry it, you think you want to make a deal, you brought up, Matt, hey, why not just make the deal down at your local auto shop? Take it, hey, we're going to swing it by my mechanic's place. If he says I can buy it, I'm going to buy it. I'll, write you a check, give you the cash, whatever's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a friend of mine. She's buying her 16-year-old daughter a car, and she comes in the shop the other day wanting to buy, I think the budget on the car they were looking at, I forget it was $7,800 or $8,700, somewhere in that range. It was a salvage title. And then it had already just got repaired again, unrelated to the salvage title. The car looked decent, had a bad wheel bearing, but then we could start finding a couple little things, coupled with the guy, he didn't really want her to come bring it and check it out. They immediately came right off the price. As soon as we mentioned a couple things, okay, we'll drop it $2,000. Mm-hmm. Well, that just means that they knew they were already selling that car for $2,000 or more than they should have been. But back to the the Craigslist murderer guy, she says I'm meeting this guy at he says cash only, and he's meeting me at Circle K, to take a look at the car. How do you know it's even a real ad? You're going to pull up the Circle K and get jacked because they know you got $7,800 in cash that you might want to be buying this car with?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
anybody can take a picture of a car and put it online.
Yep.
Get a cell phone. So, yeah, I would do those transactions. I know at my shop, Virginia Auto Service, at your shop, Dave, Tri-City, we do these used car inspections. I tell the people, like you said, don't just bring me, oh, yeah, we like this one. Nope, don't. Do your due diligence first. Look at the title. Make sure it matches the person that's selling the car. Ask them for their service records. Really make sure this is the car you're pretty sure you want. And I think the reasonable people will allow you to have the car checked out and do the transaction. If you're prepared, do it in a safe spot, or you meet them at the offsite DMV, or you do that transaction inside the bank.
I like the offsite DMV. That's a good place because they'll tell you, the title's signed wrong or something's not right with it. Mm-hmm. You're going to give them the cash, and you got no recourse once that happens.
Hey, we got a friend who bought we're talking a $40,000 car now, gets a clean title on the car. $40,000, nice car, goes down to DMV, gets it registered. Sorry, can't change the title on this. This has the Arizona Department of Revenue lien. It doesn't even show on the title. The guy's got his assets seized, and he's out selling cars. Somebody laid out $40,000 for this car. They can't even get it titled in their name.
Oh, man.
Had they done that transaction at the DMV and handed them the title,
yep,
there you go. The other thing we talk about the safety or the protection of doing the transaction. The inspection lets you know what you're going to need to spend on this car. We can see some things right now. We can predict some maintenance that maybe is upcoming, or we can verify that it was or was not done in the past. That besides the inspection, helping to ensure you get a safe transaction and make a good purchase decision, it's a good negotiating tool.
Oh, it is a good negotiating tool. And, one thing, too, is that, you bring a car into my mechanics and you say, hey, we'll check it out. We kind of have to buffer that because mechanics will find everything that's wrong with the car. And the car was only new once. So if you are getting, there's going to be little odds and ends. The sun visor, has got a piece of double-sided Velcro tape up above it to hold it in place. Things like that happen on cars as they just get older. And the cheaper the vehicle, the more stuff you're going to find wrong with it. So it doesn't mean you got to fix everything, but if we're looking at a car that's $2,500, maybe $3,500, that's a commuter car, maybe an airport car. I mean, it's not something you're going to plan to drive the East Coast tomorrow.
Well,
I mean possibly, but you're not buying it for that reason.
And I see people in my shop sell a car. They've had it for 15 or 20 years, and it needs $2,500 worth of work. And they say, you know what, heck with it. I'm just not putting any more money in this car. Maybe it leaks oil on their driveway. That's a good car for somebody else. It's just not a good car for them anymore. you buy that car, $2,500 car. Why would you spend $1,500 or $1,800 putting struts on it if you're just getting back and forth to work, or the kid just needs to get here?
Yeah, that guy's trading dollars for something the next guy doesn't necessarily care about. That's a problem. So people say, I want to get all this stuff fixed up before I sell the car. No, not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily make sense to do all that.
Well, and for some people, I mean, I don't want a drop of oil in my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
And other people might live in an apartment and they could care less if the Valdez is parked out there. It doesn't matter. So it's depending on the use, all kinds of things go into that. And the other thing, I can give you one more tip if you're selling the car a little bit later.
For sure. When we come back, we're taking your calls at 602-277-5827. 602-277-KTAR. Whether you're selling a car, buying a car, or anything that has to do with your car, we can help you out. You listen to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys, on Bumper to Bumper Radio. Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
It sounds like they've just had the Accurate Automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Going in a winter wonderland.
Well, I guess I'm saying welcome back to Bumper Radio with Larry, Matt, and Dave. And, it's Dave and I usually here on the Saturdays, but maybe Larry will help us out a little bit. Mater. It's what? Mater. Okay, well, Larry, the KO guy, Mater, Well, maybe you don't want to have Mater towing your used car that you just bought because you didn't get it checked out. So earlier in the show, we're talking about buying used cars. Maybe you're selling a used car. It doesn't matter. If you've got a question with your car, anything we can help you with, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you'd like to text, we can do that at 411-923. And Dave, we talked about buying the car, getting it checked out. Maybe you really don't need to get it checked out. It's a $2,500 car. You're going to take your chances. You just want something for Home Depot on the weekends. And you're financially set, fine, go buy it, take your chances. But if that's your right, you got to get to your new job and you're just getting back on your feet or your first car, maybe you need to do a little bit more due diligence on that cheap car. But what about selling? I always tell people, we have your maintenance records. If you're going to sell the car and it's truly a good car, you're really not hiding anything, ask your shop. That's the other benefit at sticking with one shop. We can print out, I've printed out 70 pages of service history for people, and they go show that to somebody.
Yeah.
They can see the car, or maybe it does. Maybe it comes into your place and it needs a transmission, but otherwise it's a great car, and those people actually have a conscience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they might advertise that car and tell the people, here's all my service records. It's a $10,500 car, but it needs a transmission for $3,000. I'm going to make you a deal. $6,000, here it is. You know everything up front. If you're the seller, be prepared to help make an easy transaction.
Well, I'm hesitant to say this, but I do on occasion sell a car for a friend or two. Because we check it out, we find everything that's up with it, everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. We get that. We take the Kelley Blue Book ad and we put all that together, and then because they don't want people coming by their house, they don't want to go out to Circle K to meet somebody to sell them the car, and we're open Monday through Friday. So we let people, come through and check out their car. But here's all the stuff that's wrong with it. There's nothing to hide. Here's what we have, and so it is an established business, and it's kind of easier to to do it that way.
Yeah, you could say this is a $6,000 car the way it sits, or in good condition. That's how Blue Book does it. Here's good is $6,000. This needs a little bit of work, so we price it down. But here's all the other work. You do this work, now the car falls in the excellent category, and those two prices together are maybe less than the total. So you've got a good car.
Well, we've got Pete, we've got Rick, we've got Tim, we've got Gary, we've got Dan, but I want to know about Pete. He's looking for an 05 Toyota Tundra with a 4-door on it. I'd like the same truck too, Pete. If you got a line on one, let me know. How can we help you? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'm looking at a 4-door 05. It's got about 100,000 exactly on it. I know a little bit about cars, but is there any tips as far as things with the Tundras I should be looking out for?
Well, I wouldn't say anything specific to the Tundra, Dave. I mean, I would just say in general the tips, 100,000 miles, look in the maintenance schedule for that truck. I think 105,000 is the big service. So we're coming up on one. Did they do the 90,000 mile service? Is there 10,000 miles worth of services that are past due? That's some of the looking. Depending if you're at a private party or dealer, I want to look at the title. Is this person selling me the car really the owner of the car, or is this something they bought and they're doing the flip? Look at the body lines. Can you you don't know what the gap is supposed to be between the fender and the hood, but it darn sure should be the same on the left and the right.
Yeah.
Look at the brake pedal pad. Are they totally worn out? Is there evidence of body damage? Or what are other
brake pedal pad being worn out? What does that mean? So you're saying a vehicle with 100,000 miles, it ain't going to be worn out like it's got 200,000 miles on it.
Right, or the guy says, "Oh man, this thing's all highway miles," but you look down at the brake pedal and the thing is just worn out.
Right.
Well, if you're on the highway, you're not riding with your foot on the brakes probably. So maybe the story doesn't match. Hey, I pull out the cigarette lighter. Anybody been smoking in the car?
Yeah.
It's just a little thing. Maybe when the air freshener wears out and it stinks like an ashtray, you'll wish that you wish that you checked it. So there's all those things. Carfax is a good filter. Right?
It's a big sift, and some people say, oh, we bought this car, I went through Carfax, and Carfax didn't say anything about this transmission being bad, even though they knew something about it. Well, Carfax isn't going to catch all that stuff. I would imagine half the auto shops out there don't report to Carfax. I don't know if your shop reports to Carfax, Matt. Mine does.
Yeah, I mean,
but
sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, depending on
how the system
works.
is working. So it's kind of a big sift for some things as far as is the mileage that's on the vehicle accurate with the stuff I see here on Carfax. Because every time that car gets re-registered, I think the mileage is part of that, or or anytime it's transferred, you're going to see some of that stuff happen. So that's one thing. Or its history. Has it been like 4 different states before it got to Arizona? What part of the country is it for? It's a big sift to find out if you want to take the time to even bother to take it to your mechanic. Yeah. That's the way I would look at it. And I think if you're in the business of shopping, you can buy like a 30-day subscription to Carfax. That way you don't have to pay every time you run it.
Right. And you can take a car in, for example, and go get an emissions test. Do the tags expire next month?
Oh, yeah.
People don't want to renew. It's just their time to buy a new car. Okay, go run it through an emissions test.
So it looks like we've got Rick in Scottsdale. He has maybe a title question. How can we help you, Rick? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hello.
Hey, Rick. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. What does it mean when you look on Craigslist and it says it's a salvage title?
Great question. I think we can really expand on. I'm not a huge fan of salvage titles in general. If you know what you're getting into, I guess I'm not necessarily, not a big. I'm just not a big fan of it. I have a friend that bought a salvage Jeep, and he goes, the airbag's light is on. The guy said it just needs to be cleared out. I'm like, no, if you got an airbag light on and a salvage title, chances are all the airbags in the vehicle are missing.
Right. Well, Rick, what a salvage title is, though, and how you get to have a salvage title is typically you will have a car that has been damaged. And there's a threshold for the insurance company. It's simple mathematics. And whatever formula they develop for each particular car or value, and they're gonna spend up to a certain percentage repairing a car. You get a $20,000 damage on a $30,000 car. I don't know if they fix that one or not. It just depends on the math. So they say, hey, we're not going to fix this car. It now gets called a salvage title. That car is salvage or it is scrap. Now, some people might buy that car and put it in the salvage yard and part it out. But then there's people that may buy that car, repair it, and fix it. That is a salvage title. The car has been repaired after the insurance company determined it was not going to fix it because it was too much money.
Well, I would almost put that as what you said earlier, the flipping situation. A lot of those cars get flipped, and there's profit in it for people. But in order to make it profitable, it wasn't profitable for the insurance company. It may not be profitable for somebody else unless they can cut some corners, or they have a cheaper way of fixing it that maybe couldn't be done in a reputable body shop, that type of thing. So salvage title, it's kind of a buyer beware type of thing. It can work out. I've seen it work out really well for people, but I've also seen it work out really bad.
Risks. Sometimes you cannot get full coverage insurance on a car that has salvage title.
The insurance bought it once. They're not buying it twice.
You might have trouble in some states registering that car, and then the quality of the repairs, you just never know.
So anyhow, when we come back, we're taking your phone calls, 602-277-5827.
One incredible location and an unmeasurable value. Come experience the healing properties of the Sonoran Desert at the spa at Camelback Inn. Gain access to our award-winning, world-class spa with a full membership including unlimited use of the state-of-the-art fitness room, whirlpools, finished saunas, heated outdoor lap pool, and all exercise classes including yoga and much more. Additionally, a 2-night stay at the JW Marriott Camelback Inn, 30% off golf at the Camelback Golf Club, discounts for spa and salon services, and much more are included. For information, go to camelbackspa.com.
It sounds like they've just had the Accurate Automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
What do PGA Tour stars Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas, and Daniel Berger all have in common? They all played in the Patriot All-America Golf Tournament at the Wigwam. The 2016 Patriot All-America Invitational, December 29th through the 31st at the Wigwam Resort in Litchfield Park. This is one of the top amateur events in the country, attracting peeing All-America golfers from across the United States and abroad. Free to attend. Come see Golf Stars of Tomorrow. For more information on the Patriot All-America, visit patriotallamerica.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
It's 11:30. Good Saturday morning. I'm John Roller. Here's our top story this hour. Dangerous winter conditions across the country today as snow stretches from coast to coast. The severe weather just in time to disrupt holiday travel. ABC's Kate Parker reports from New York Central Park.
If you're trying to get those holiday photos, go out early because we're going to see that warm front move up the East Coast, and that rain is going to come down on top of the snow, melting quite a bit of it. So if you hear some rumbling going on behind me, we do have some snowplows going on by. So you do have a cold front that comes in behind this warm front. Along that, you're going to see some rain, and I would be on the lookout for some freezing rain. We have seen plenty of that. Please be careful driving out there.
The winter weather also blowing across Arizona this morning. ADOT reporting that all major roadways are open, but there are high winds and some icy conditions. So ADOT advising you to slow down if you are heading up north to play in the snow. Snow Bowl received 9 inches of brand new snow overnight, so that could be fun, but don't pull off to the side of the roadway to throw snowballs. Winter weather also affecting the Phoenix area. We'll struggle to reach 60 degrees today, a freeze warning in effect tonight for Pinal County. Well, you'll have to crank up your heater if you want to stay warm. The Department of Environmental Equality banning burning wood in fireplaces and outdoor fire pits tomorrow. DEQ is issuing a high pollution advisory.
Always, I know you'll be at my show.
The 2017 Coors Light Bird's Nest lineup just announced their headliners yesterday. Grammy-nominated hip-hop artist Flo Rida and Grammy-nominated singer and producer Cascade are added to the star-studded lineup for Friday, February 3rd. Blink-182 and electronic house musician Steve Aoki will close out the 4-day show. Tickets start at $50, and they went on sale at 10 o'clock this morning. Let's get a check on the Valley roadways right now. Mike Daniels standing by in the RMEGold.com traffic center.
We got a crash blocking the off-ramp, John, 17 southbound at 7th Avenue. Accident 19th Avenue McDowell, and a wreck at Glendale Avenue just west of Glen Harbor Boulevard. This report brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Want to learn more about your Social Security benefits? Sign up for a free Social Security seminar today. Text the word RETIRE to 411-923 to register. I am Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Mike, thank you very much. We'll have plenty of sunshine, but it will stay breezy and cool today. As we mentioned, we'll struggle to reach a high of 60. Partly cloudy tonight. We'll drop to an overnight low of 53. Plenty of sun tomorrow. Still a little bit chilly. We're heading for a high of 63 degrees. Right now, 57 degrees in Scottsdale. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Weather replace or repair, call Howard Air. More Matt and Dave bumper-to-bumper car guys continue. I'm John Roller on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Arizona, an amazing state for outdoor recreation and exploration. Full of mountains, lakes, streams, forests, and of course, our beautiful deserts. Hunting, fishing, camping. If it's about the outdoors, we've got it covered. KTAR invites you to Get Outdoors with Mike Russell today at noon. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and on every device with the KTAR app.
Hi, I'm Roger Bland with the Automatic Transmission Rebuilders Association, ATRA. As a transmission industry advocate, I travel throughout North America, studying transmission shops, looking for the best of the best that our industry has to offer. Professionally, ethically run shops that are proud to display the ATRA logo. I was recently in Arizona because I had heard from more than one source that I had to check out Tri-City Transmission right here in Tempe. Folks, I've been in the transmission industry for over 25 years, and I'm here to tell you that Tri-City is the type of transmission shop we're proud to call an ATRA member. Not only does Tri-City Transmission meet the stringent code of ethics set forth for every member of the association, they also have an extraordinary approach to solving their customers' problems. You see, they don't just focus on what it is they produce, transmissions. Their true concern is about fixing your problem. And take it from me, that's a big difference.
To learn more about Tri-City Transmission, find them at TriCityTransmission.com. That's TriCityTransmission.com.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
It sounds like they've just had the Accurate Automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Fix it or forget it. This is the show that'll help you decide what to do with your car. Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we are your KTAR car guys. And if you're listening for the first time and you're saying, hey, what the heck is this? What the heck is this Bumper to Bumper Radio? Well, what Bumper to Bumper Radio is a car show, or a show for you and for your car and how to get your car fixed and all that. Matt and all that.
And then some.
I own a transmission shop in Tempe called Tri-City Transmission. Matt Allen runs Virginia Auto Service, and he's been there. He's owned that for 20 years.
Downtown
20 years
Phoenix.
plus, downtown Phoenix. So we're in the business, in the trenches every day, getting people's cars fixed. So we have a different perspective than you might generally hear. But also there's a website, bumpertobumperradio.com, where there's a list of several shops that Matt and I feel comfortable referring you to. These are shops where I'm confident you're going to get taken good care of. If there ever is a problem, they're going to take care of it, because problems do happen in auto repair. But these are shops that are part of, I guess, our network that we're involved with. And these people I call up all the time and say, hey, Greg, I got this car at my shop, and here's what's going on. What do you think? I ran into that before. I'll do this, this, and this. And so we bounce stuff off of each other, and so these are shops that we intimately close to and feel they do a good job.
You may be intimate with some of these guys, but I don't know, Dave. But yeah, I mean, we're a community. We're very like-minded individuals. We all run a different style of shop, but at the end of the day, you're going to a shop where you will be taken care of. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Good people doing good things, working and living in the community. And here to really take care of cars.
And the other thing too, the best way to get good auto service is not to be an orphan. An orphan customer goes from shop to shop, whatever the coupon deal of the week is, or wherever the car breaks down, they go to the closest shop to where they're at. And I think that's a mistake. So you got to have a relationship with a shop, someplace to call home. It's like your dentist. I've been going to the same dentist my whole life. I mean, I knew the guy from high school. He was my young life leader in high school. But that's how long I've known the guy, and you can find a relationship shop at bumpertobumperradio.com if you don't already have one.
Speaking of which, thanks, Kerry. We've got Tim and Chandler on the line, and Tim kind of sparked this conversation a little bit. Looks like Tim had a repair, something that went successful, and you want to give a little shout-out. What's going on, Tim?
Yeah, hey, how's it going, guys? I
Great.
just want to give a quick shout-out to my sister's truck over to Accurate Automotive, Lee over there, 2006 F150 with a Triton motor, and had that number 8 spark plug problem, which I guess happens, where the spark plug blows out. Actually left the shop, had the repair done, and actually felt good enough about it to call in. Normally you're just kind of ambivalent about a car repair. Okay, they fixed it great, or they suck, but he was actually good enough for me to call in and want to give a shout-out to him and shout-out to you guys. His shop was nowhere near where I live, so I just looked on your website, found a shop, took it there, and was taken care of. That was it. Just wanted to say thanks, guys.
You're welcome. And so you're a listener, and you were introduced to the Bumper to Bumper site in the show, and that's how you found Accurate Automotive. Is that correct?
Exactly. I actually live in Glendale, and my little sister was on her way to work, and her truck broke down at Broadway and Gilbert or something.
Okay,
so
wow,
said,
okay.
Yeah, she says, can you come out and see what's going on with my truck? I'm a very shade tree type mechanic. I can get something going, but as soon as I saw what it was, I just went straight to your site, found a local repair shop. I called him. He recommended Junior's Towing, who showed right up, fair price. Good. So just 100% good experience using you guys.
Well, Tim, I'm really glad that you were able to call in. We appreciate that. And, and if you have a good experience at a shop, go write, and you feel like writing a review, go write a nice review. if you have a problem, don't just go run to that review thing and beat them up. Call the shop. It doesn't have to be a bumper-to-bumper shop there. The overall majority really want to take care of you. Things happen, and we really appreciate the faith that you place in us to say, hey, I'm going to one of these guys that Matt and Dave recommend. I mean, we take that as a big responsibility, too. We're not just here flapping our gums for an hour, every Saturday. There's people that have wanted to be on that list, and we said we can't do it.
Yeah.
We can't do it. We've got to stand behind you, and we don't have that confidence. So we're glad that you had that confidence in us, and we appreciate that.
Well, thanks for the call, Tim. 602-277-5827. Let's go with Gary in Phoenix. He's got a 2004 Ford F150. How can we help you, Gary? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, guys. I had an oil leak just last week, and I noticed it dripping on the carport. So I took it to my mechanic, and he said I had an oil pan gasket that was leaking, and he changed it. And then I came home, and then yesterday I noticed it was leaking again a little bit of oil. So I took it back into them, and they said that something around the oil filter was leaking. And so he said he would fix it this morning. They're not open, but he said he would go ahead and fix it. And then I went and picked it up around 10 o'clock, and about 2 miles down the road, the truck kind of lunged a little, and then the engine light came on. So then I pulled off to the side of the road, and I'm not a mechanic. I don't know anything about it, but I checked the oil, and it looked like it was really low. So I had my wife pick me up. I got 3 quarts of oil. I put it in the truck, started it up. Everything sounded okay, but the engine light is still on.
And when you say engine light, is it red or is it the orange amber light?
No, it's a yellow.
Okay, yellow light. So, well, that's good news. I would be a little concerned that maybe you put too much oil in the car. Are you seeing any more leaking on the ground now?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it sounds like what they did is replaced the
oil filter
adapter, and where you wouldn't typically lose that much oil doing that. That's why I was a little concerned that you put 3 quarts in. If that was just arbitrarily just put it in, or if you actually measured that. So I might be concerned at this point that it's overfilled. What you had come on was the check engine light, and when I say that's good, because it wasn't an oil pressure problem more likely, or it would have been the red warning light. It very well could be a new problem, and it very well could be something that they bumped into, disconnected, inadvertently left loose. But it sounds like you need to go back, have the talk, I don't want to stand here and say it's safe to drive or unsafe to drive, or you will or will not cause any damage.
Yeah, call him Monday morning and see what he feels comfortable with, and just don't drive it for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got another car. Do that. Work with the guy. Just that's all you can do, and I'm sure they'll make it right for you.
For sure. Well, we've got Dan, Gary, Larry, and Dart, and we'll come right back. You'll listen to Matt and Dave on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Matt and I share car repair tips weekly to help you keep your car safely on the road, and a few of them are easy to do.
Yep, you're right, Dave. And one of the easiest is to have a dependable battery that you can trust to get you started no matter what the conditions.
Interstate batteries are what we trust at Bumper to Bumper Radio. In fact, they're what we use at our own shops for our customers.
If you're like most people, your car is one of your most valuable investments. Make sure you take care of that investment with the power necessary to get you where you need to be. Interstate batteries are America's #1 replacement brand with the factory fresh guarantee, and they're easy to find at good shops everywhere.
Cars or trucks, Interstate has you covered with long life and performance in our harsh desert climates with products like Megatron Plus. It carries a 30-month free replacement and a 6-year performance guarantee.
Interstate batteries. No battery lasts longer. Check them out at interstatebatteries.com.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen along with Dave Riccio, and every Saturday morning from 11 to noon, we are your KTAR car guys here to help you with your car. Buying a car, selling a car, wrecking a car, fixing a car. You know, maybe you got the list. You know, we haven't heard the list in a long time, Dave. You go to the shop and the wallet, the guy, all the credit cards run out. There's the list of all the things wrong with the car. So, you know, just because it's on the list doesn't mean it needs to be fixed today.
Right.
Got to have a conversation about that. So maybe you're not having that conversation with the shop, or they're not offering it to you. We can help you sort through some of that stuff.
Well, we've got Dart, Larry, Steve, and Dan, and if we got an extra minute, we'll tell you some good Christmas gifts for your buddy's car. Go ahead, Dan. He's got a 2009 Chevy Silverado. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Just recently, within the last 3 weeks or so, about once a week when I'm driving, the little inside tone will start blinking, my StabiliTrak light on the dash will come on, and my brake light, the same one that lights when I put the emergency brake on, will come on and beep and flash for maybe a minute, and then it'll go off. And then next week, it might do it again, same thing, randomly while I'm driving. And I'm just wondering, is there something, I recently had the battery replaced, but just wondering if there's something that I can check or reset, or does it need to come into a shop?
You know, anytime I see that brake light coming on, that brake light comes on when you do set the emergency brake, but it also can come on when the brake fluid itself is low. Mm-hmm. In the brake master cylinder, the reservoir up on top, they're generally clear, but that cap has a little float in it that, the fluid level, as it goes up and down, will trip that red light.
Right.
And sometimes it can be random because if you go around a corner and that level is low, it may slosh in there a little bit. But that could be a possible explanation. And Matt, you're thinking of something different.
Well, no, it's a similar thing. People may take the cap off and find there really is no float on the cap, and oftentimes that float is down inside the reservoir as well. And they'll fill electronically, just the switch quits working, or sometimes that float becomes saturated, it is no longer buoyant and just sinks, and the fluid level really isn't low, or maybe it is low, because you got to remember, as the brakes wear out, the calipers expand, and that fluid needs to go down into down and take up that new space, if you will. So it could be low. But then I also wonder, that sometimes those have some brake control module problems with the ABS. So number of different things. And the brake fluid can be low in the morning, get some heat built in the brakes. What happens to fluid when it gets hot? It expands a little bit, and now the light goes out.
So, a quick check is, hey, you can look under the hood, make sure it's got plenty of fluid in it. And if it's low and you're not real super sure about it, take it to the shop, let them put the right kind of fluid in it, and don't worry about it. So
exactly.
Anyhow, thanks so much for the call. We are going to go with Steve in Prescott. He's got a 2014 Honda Accord. How can we help you, Steve? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for being on. Hey, I appreciate your call, being able to take my call. I've got the 2014 Honda Accord, bought it brand new. It's got 42,000 miles on it. About 20,000 miles ago, started hearing what I thought was unusual noise. Took it in. They said, it's just your standard CVT noise. As it winds up, goes faster, it, makes a noise. So I said, well, okay, fine. About 35,000 miles, I take it back in. I said, hey, it's getting louder. I think it's coming from the back end. They take it out for a test drive. They come back in. No, it's your CVT. We're unable to duplicate what you're trying to explain. Well, now people get in the car and they say, have you got this thing in second gear? Because it sounds terrible back here. I think it's a rear wheel bearing going out. How can I persuade them to check the rear wheel bearing, or is there anything I can do to make sure that that's what it is. And, I don't want to wait until the bearing completely seizes and the tire falls off.
Well, you hit one of my pet peeves, and that's when a customer of ours will have a noise, and no one, technician-wise, goes and gets in the car and drives it with them so they can confirm the noise that you're hearing. If he's dealing with a noise in the car. So I'd go into the auto shop and say, hey, can I go for a ride with you so I can show you the noise that I'm looking at? And that will really help. First of all, a CVT noise would come from the front of the car, not the back of the car. You got a noise in the back of the car, and it may very well be a wheel bearing. There's not a whole lot in a cord that's going to make noise back there. But even if you're driving it, one of the ways that we look for noises, and especially wheel bearings, is we do a little bit of a swerve test. So if you've got a bearing that's going bad and you're going down a straight line, and let's just say you're going 40 miles an hour, and you just start to bank the car to the right a little bit, and you can even do that in the same lane you're in. Just bank the car to the right a little bit, and if that noise changes, well, we may be looking at a bearing. So you're going to go to the right a little bit. If it gets louder, it may be the left rear wheel bearing. If it gets quieter, it may be the other one. So bank right, bank left. That's one of the things you can do yourself to kind of see if that's what you think you're looking at.
Yeah, Steve.
So I did that last night, and when I banked left, took my son out for a ride, and he goes, "Man, your car sucks. It sounds terrible." So we tried that banking maneuver, going down the road at 60 miles an hour on a 2-lane. Well, you just haven't got a whole lot of room to bank. But when I did bank to the left, he noticed that the noise diminished, and when I came back to the right, it was loud again.
Right,
so
right.
If I turn to the left, does that mean the left bearing or does that mean the right bearing?
Well, from what you said in the first place, and I get turned around real quick, but it's the right rear wheel bearing I think that you got going bad.
Yeah, when you turn to the right, you load the left. So if the left would get noisier, we'd say it was the left bearing. If you but you unloaded the right side, and the noise went away. Was diminished. So I'd probably be looking at a wheel bearing. And there's not a bumper-to-bumper radio shop up in Prescott. I don't know where you were taking the car, but Prescott Foreign Car Service is a great shop up there. They're a Bosch service center, which is good in and of itself. They fix all the import cars. Steve up there would be one to get a relationship up in Prescott for sure.
I'm never crazy about the generic, it's a CVT noise, don't worry about it kind of thing. So if you feel like there's something wrong, get somebody to go in the car, go for a ride with you that works the shop before they just blow you off and say that's all it is. So anyhow, thanks for the call, Steve. We're going to go with Larry in Phoenix on a 1993 Buick Park Avenue. How can we help you? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It's actually a 98. But my neighbor has too many of those. She's got 3 of them, and partly because she had a wreck, and then she got a salvage title on the one that was wrecked. But it's just barely wrecked, and I want to buy it from her. And it's got like 6-month-old gas in it now. And it's just hit in the right rear from the side a little bit. And I don't know if I could get a title on it, if I'd have to, do some big work on the sheet metal or just put some lights on it or what. And I don't know what to do with the gas, if I could run it through the engine.
Does the car run right now with the gas that's
Oh
in it?
yeah, it runs just like it did before. It's really not damaged except for the sheet metal.
Yeah, well, I don't think the temperature up there. You're in Phoenix, not Prescott. I was thinking
Phoenix.
Prescott for a minute. But if the car starts and runs off the fuel that's in it right now, I'm not terribly concerned about it. Start it up and run it out. Maybe that's the time when you put a little bit of high octane fuel in it, and just run that through. As far as the sheet work, the sheet metal and the body work, you're just going to have to find a place to go get that fixed. And
that's the other thing about the salvage title thing, Matt, is that the as a car gets older and the value goes way down, some of these cars get totaled for next to nothing. So, and we talked about salvage being good or being bad. It can go both ways. If you see a car that's got a little quarter panel damage and they go ahead and decide to total it out, if that could make a perfectly good car for somebody.
Well, and a lot of
especially if you know somebody.
Yeah, in a lot of these rental car companies, the car gets a minor damage, they dump them. But I think maybe to protect themselves legally, they just call it a salvage, just to another layer of protection. I've seen plenty of those cars going through the auction, and they've really got nothing wrong with them, or they popped an airbag.
Well, on that gasoline, if it's only got a half a tank, the secret to pollution is dilution, as Jason says. So pump some good gas in there and water down the bad gas with some good gas. So anyhow, thanks for the call, Larry. Let's go to Bart in Prescott Valley. He's got a Saturn SC2. How can we help you? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi, thank you. I've got a transmission problem. I bought this car used, $6,000 with $70,000 on it, and now it's got $111,000 5 years later. And the transmission just started slipping and grabbing, not slipping so that I lost momentum, but just a temporary, something I could feel even though the car wasn't slowing down, and it would grab. And, I took it in to my local AMCO transmission in Prescott Valley, which gave me very good service. They told me I had a little head gasket leak that was dripping onto some of the sensors, and that would be the first thing. And they gave me a price, and I said, okay. And their bill here says we recommend the computer scan revealed the following codes. But because of that leak, they said the sensor had to be, the transmission temperature sensor had to be replaced. If that fails, we'll need to change transmission or computers. Well, that didn't help. And so they said my choices were to have a new transmission installed, or it appeared that the computer was sending multiple codes, and that didn't make sense, so they thought my computer was not good.
You know what, Steve? Or Bart, what I'm hearing, you've got a lot of stuff going on there. You might call Dave at Tri-City Transmission on Monday. Look it up, and when you call the shop, Dave probably won't answer the phone. You just tell him Dave said call him at the shop, and Dave will help you. And maybe it's time for a second opinion. Dave can help you with that. Or we talked about just a minute ago, Prescott Foreign Car Service. I don't know that they work on the Saturn, but I guarantee you they know who the good guys are in town.
So thanks for joining us. Thanks, Bree, for running the dials. And remember, if you're looking for a good shop, bumpertobumperradio.com.